Nosey Parker. I was busily studying train and bus timetables for villages in the east of the county of Lincolnshire when Stuart chanced upon me in our dressing room. "How is your day?" he asked, seating himself down purposely as if a great deal depended upon my response. "It's perfectly fine," I smiled, "but it seems I can't organise public transport to a little village where I used to go to school." "Oh dear," said Stuart. He had a way of giving simple throwaway phrases a gravitas that they almost didn't deserve. "Could you hire a car? Oh, of course you don't drive." I do drive, in fact, but life has more to offer me, I find, as an eternal passenger. It wasn't worth making that point. Instead, I said, "I was at that village school when the great train robbery happened, when Yuri Gagarin went into space, the Bay of Pigs." "My goodness." "And when Kennedy was assassinated." My parents had never let me forget that as I called to them in the kitchen from our lounge, "The president's just been fascinated." I didn't tell Stuart this either. My mother used to teach at the school too. "Your mother? Was she your teacher?" "For the first year, yes." "You had to be on best behaviour then." "Cramped my style a bit for the first year, yeah." "Or it all went back to your dad?" "Right again, Stuart. Yes, it did." Stuart smiled, as if he completely understood my predicament. He had an almost uncanny ability to listen. Perhaps that was what made him such a good actor. "So," he said, "you were there between 1961 and when?" 1964. "How old could you have been?" "I was 6. I heard the Beatles for the first time, and Telstar, and when I was 9, I suffered my first school crush, Nicola Jones." Then I laughed. "Nostalgia. Shameless, eh?" "Not at all," mused Stuart. "I can remember where I was for all those occasions, and even the falling in love. Nicola Jones. My. Nicola is a pretty name." "Stays with you, doesn't it?" I added with a rueful grin. "Your first crush." Of course," said Stuart. "Pilar Rabinovich, Shepherd's Bush Comprehensive. I wrote her poetry." "Ah." "But the past is important. It isn't shameless at all. It's what helps to form your character, the person you are destined to become." I remember visiting the camp where my parents were incarcerated many years ago, and I tell you something else, I was not in the least ashamed. Stuart's eyes bulged with an all-forgiving, worldly radiance. Sometimes he looked like William Shakespeare. "Of course not," I said, a little apologetically. "So, how is your day?" Stuart leaned back and beamed even more radiantly. "Well," he said, "I collected something today, and I'm going to show you what it is. Can you come outside?" Off we went. And there, in the car park, stood Stuart's brand-new acquisition, a midnight blue 1990 Mercedes Benz. Stuart was glowing like Christmas decorations. "Shall I show you the interior?" The seats were made of luxuriantly soft leather. The dashboard was a classic tortoiseshell, and the smell was redolent of an immaculately sanitized doctor's surgery. He showed me the engine. 3.01 BSE, 217 horsepower. Sorry, am I blinding you with science? It just looked very new and shiny. "And I'll show you something else," said Stuart, and he invited me to lean in through the passenger door where our heads almost bumped as he leaned across the driver's seat. "Look, what do you think of that?" And Stuart picked up a large telephone receiver on a coiled plastic wire. "I can even call my agent." And he laughed his most affectedly grandiloquent laugh. "Stuart, that's fantastic." "This is actually a customized car. The man who designed it was a Mercedes executive. Now, of course, he couldn't use the phone at the wheel, but if he was stuck in traffic and late for a meeting or the airport, he could let people know. Handy, eh? This was 1990. We were both on tour and far away from home. A portable telephone was a luxury few could reasonably afford. "And I'll tell you something else," said Stuart conspiratorially. "I am going to personally drive you to your childhood village school tomorrow. Oh, yes, I am. Don't worry, I shan't accompany you. I'll pick you up from where I drop you off after a couple of hours or so, while you enjoy Memory Lane, and I explore this glorious Lincolnshire countryside in my new midnight blue baby." "Stuart, that's immensely generous." Stuart gave his broadest smile. "Perhaps, but I want to hear a little more about this Nicola Jones."